Okay, so again, I welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. Um, Today we are having this very important lecture about the power of mantra. Mantra is one of the most powerful tools that we have for our spiritual awakening. And although we feel very positive when we are chanting and playing with the mantras, uh, we don't know how it works and how this power affects our body and how it has to do actually with our whole spiritual realization, and the best way and the quickest way to awake all our capacities and our spiritual um, you know um, um, capacities, right? So in this way, I have prepared this seminar, small presentation, just to introduce people on the subject of mantra. Okay, so we have a little bit of history, a little bit of science, a little bit um, of course, a lot of spiritual insights and references from the Vedas. Okay, everything is based on the Vedas, right? Perhaps let me know uh, who heard about Vedas, who are a little bit familiar with Vedanta. Please raise your hand. Yes, only one. Okay. So the Vedas are the holy books from India. Is the most ancient books, texts of about spirituality, not only but about social organization, all types of aspects of human life have been completely described and guided by the Vedic knowledge. Okay, and when we say about Vedanta, Vedanta means what is the essence of the Vedas. Veda plus Anta. Anta means conclusion or essence. So, in this way, the Vedas will prescribe the different spiritual practices for human beings according to the ages. Ages in the sense not of I am now 20 or 40, ages in the sense of the cosmic time. So the cosmic time is divided into 4 ages. According to each age, there is one specific spiritual practice that is fitting to humans' capacity, because humans are not the same in every age. So I'm going also to explain about that. And then finally, how the power of mantra can give us the divine experience, the awakening of our spiritual consciousness. Okay? So, just to begin, I would like to introduce to you my spiritual master. According to our tradition, we always speak first the glories of our spiritual master. So, his name is Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, and he was one of the most important spiritual preceptors of this millennium. And he was awarded these 3 titles that show that actually he was recognized by so many different authorities, either spiritual, religious, or even political authorities. So in 2003, he received the Ambassador for Peace Award in Birmingham, UK. Then in 2005, he received the World Peace Flame Award in New York. And in 2005 as well, he received this most special title called Yuga Acharya, that was given by the World Religious Parliament situated in New Delhi. Yuga Acharya means the preceptor of the millennium. Acharya means the spiritual preceptor, and Yuga means age, okay, or millennium. So it shows that definitely he has a lot to contribute to our spiritual enlightenment, our spiritual advancement, and he did not become popular and famous in the sense that he never wanted to promote himself. But those who were living in that, in the among the spiritual preceptors and missions of his time, he was highly regarded. So in this way, today, only by his mercy, I have come here to share with you. Otherwise, without his mercy, I would not be able to actually accomplish anything positive in my life, because everything flow through to us through our spiritual master. The spiritual master, he is the one who is connecting us with God, with the divine, and we always pay our homages to our spiritual master and feeling completely indebted to what he gave us, in the sense that we can never repay actually what he did for us and what he is still doing, because personalities like him are not limited by time and space. You can connect with him at any time, at any moment. So I had the very rare opportunity to be with him for almost 4 years in India, serving him personally. Although, as it was mentioned, I am from Brazil, from Rio de Janeiro, a place which is completely the opposite of our, Vedic culture. Nevertheless, I believe from previous lives, samskaras and experiences, I was able to very easy adopt myself in India and feel like at home, and also be accepted in the very intimate, circle of these great saintly personalities, which is something not easy to access. So I feel really fortunate to have this experience and opportunity. I lived for 7 years straight in India, and for the last 10 years or 11 years now, I am traveling constantly around the world and coming back and forth to India, where is my base nowadays. So in this way, we can start now our presentation. So whenever you have any question, any doubt, you can please raise your hands, okay? And we will try to clear it as soon as possible, okay? Because if you do not clear something in the beginning, it might be difficult to catch up with the next informations, all right? So before I begin talking specifically about mantra and meditation, spirituality, etc., we have to learn something about the power of sound. Because mantra uses sound, right? Not always, but mostly. Not always, why? Because we can also do the mantra in a silent way. But basically, even when you're chanting inside of your mind, there is actually a very subtle sound vibration. But anyhow, mantra is using the tool of sound. So now I brought to you here 4 megalithic constructions that till nowadays puzzling humans' intelligence, like the pyramids of Egypt, the pyramids of Mayans in Mexico, the monasteries, the Buddhist monasteries in Tibet, and also the ruins of Tiwanaku in Bolivia. What they have in common? They were built with huge blocks of rock which weighs thousands of tons. Something that even the modern machines cannot lift or transport or even cut. And they were done in such perfect way that even between one block and the other, you cannot even place one leaf of paper, right? So in this way, many scientists and engineers, they are trying to find out and figure out how humans could build such thing. And many times they try to say that it was made by aliens, or non-humans. But actually, it is just a lack of understanding about humans' capacity that leads them to think that humans could not do it. But yes, human can do it very easily also, not even a difficult way. Because it can only be in an easy way, right? Could not be difficult. It would be difficult. They could not do such constructions in those times. So it must be in some way which is actually very easy. So nowadays, if you open the Discovery Channel, for example, you can find already many good theories that are coming to the very close information that we find in the Vedas and also in these traditions as well. And this is called sound levitation. Sound has been proved that it can change the frequency of the objects and make them become weightless. So in a very simple way, by the effect of sound, you can actually change the weight of huge blocks of rock. So for example, in Tibet, it is well documented how the monks, they used to lift these huge rocks by playing big trumpets and drums, and also vocalizing mantras in a proper angle, in a proper place, and they could lift easily these rocks to the top of the mountains. They're just monks. They never hired cranes and big companies to build their monasteries. So how they could lift these rocks to the top of the mountains? So that's the only way. In the Mayan culture, for example, we have the mention of some small creatures that play harps, and by the power of, sorry, not in the Mayan culture, in the Greek culture, we have the presence of these small creatures that they play harp, and the sound of the harp make objects levitate. In Thebes, in Greece, there is also a megalithic city there. All over the world, you find this same pattern of megalithic constructions. And according to that, their cultures, they have the same reference, as well as in the Vedas. In the Vedas also, we have the same information that sound can change the frequency of the objects and make them levitate. And this is why the yogis, they can levitate. They levitate when by chanting mantra, they change the frequency of their body and they become lighter than the air. Actually, this is very simple, right? If we speak like so. But technically, it is actually very difficult to accomplish. Requires a lot of practice, a lot of austerities to be able to levitate. But to levitate other objects is quite easy if you have a good team of knowledgeable people. You can do it. Okay. So in this way, we can understand that sound is actually present everywhere, right? So I brought this verse to you from the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is one of the best books from the Vedas, in which Krishna is instructing Arjuna, the warrior, in all the different types of yogas. So if there is a father of yoga, he is Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, he describes 17 types of yoga, even much earlier than Patanjali or any other literature about yoga. Okay? So in this verse, Krishna is saying, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in man. So from this verse, I only want now to analyze this particular statement. I am the sound in ether. So ether means one of the 5 material elements, right? That in the West we know as the 5th element. Isn't true? But according to the Vedas, the ether is the 1st element. And I'm going now to show to you how the creation of the material universe happens through the manifestation of the different elements by the power of sound. In the Bible, we find in the beginning was the verb, right? Verb means the sound. So God was present in the form of sound. And I'm going to explain to you how it really happens, because the Vedas describes everything in a very scientific way, not that vague way that God did everything in so many days, then he took rest. No, it happens in a very organized and systematic way. And the Vedas explain everything for us. So now let us understand the 5 elements and how they interact among themselves. So as I told you, the first element is called ether. What is the meaning of ether? Ether is space, or akash in Sanskrit. Space, why? Because if you want to create something, the first thing you need is to open a place, an area, a space, a room in which you are going to create. So the first element is called space. Okay? So in that space, Krishna said that he appeared as sound. So that is the first presence of God inside of the material creation. So just try to imagine the universe as a bubble. Okay, every universe like a bubble. There are innumerable universes, not only ours. Inside of this bubble, we have first space. Then in the presence of sound, God permeates everywhere. He is spread because sound goes in all directions. And together with the manifestation of the sound comes the sense of hearing. Right? So we have here one correlation between elements and senses. So ether corresponds to the sense of hearing because sound is present there. Then in the sequence, the next element to manifest is air. And air has the quality of hearing and also touch. You can hear and you can also feel air, right? So following the same logic, I'm asking now all of you, what is the next element that is going to be created or manifested? Why? The logic is such, all the senses, they become cumulative. They're going to repeat. So ether has sound, ether is connected to hearing, air has hearing plus touch. So the next element must contain hearing and touch and plus another sense. Right? Anybody has another idea? All right, this is fire. Why? Because fire has touch, hearing, touch, and sight. You can see the fire. And then water has hearing, touch, sight, and taste. And then we have earth as the fifth, which has all and plus the smell, aroma. Okay? So this is how the creation takes place. One after the other, all the elements, they are going to manifest connected with the senses. The senses, they appear before the body because the senses are subtle. According to the Vedas, first we have the subtle aspect and then it develops into the gross aspect. So first comes the elements and senses, and then the mind, the false ego, the intelligence, and then manifest this gross body. Okay? So in this way we can understand what is the meaning of atom. Now some curiosity just to, give you some, new information. The idea of atom that we had in the past, given by John Dalton in the 70s or so, was that you had the nucleus, you had the spinning electrons, protons, neutrons, like that, right? That was the classic idea, the classic model of atom. But the word atom in Greek means that which cannot be divided. But that model can be divided. And nowadays, they even found quarks, top quarks, boson, the Higgs, so many small particles, much smaller than electrons and whatever is there. So actually, they haven't found yet what atom is. What is the smallest particle of matter that cannot divide, otherwise matter cannot manifest? And the Veda says, what is that? And this is the combination of the 5 elements. The 5 elements together, they make the smallest particle. Whatever object exists in this world have the 5 elements together. Some more prominent than other, but it has. Like fire itself also has all the other 5 elements. water also has all the other 5 elements, and like that. Okay? So in this way, just for your understanding, atom is the combination of the 5 elements, but not only that, bound by the power of sound, bound by the divine power, because only God is able to maintain creation, right? Therefore, in the Vedas, it says that Vishnu is the maintainer, because Vishnu is God. So only God can maintain, because life comes from life. Consciousness comes from consciousness. Okay? So in this way, we can conclude that sound is present in every atom, cells, glands, organs, thoughts, words, and emotions. Sound is everywhere in our reality. So sound plays a very, very important role in our reality. Everything is connected to sound. So in this way, it makes the practice of mantra meditation the most important practice. You can perform all types of gymnastics and asanas, pranayamas. This is very, very important. This is also very good. But this is not everything. You must end up and combine that with the mantra meditation. Then you have the whole practice complete. Okay? All right. So what is that divine sound that appears in the very beginning? That is the Om. Om is the most, simple form of God in sound. Okay? Om is made out of 3 letters. A, U, and M. Okay? So now let us understand what is the meaning of those 3 letters and what Om represents from the scriptures, from the Vedas. So here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna said, "From that transcendental subtle vibration arose the Omkara, composed of 3 sounds. The Omkara has unseen potencies and manifests automatically within a purified heart. It is a representation of the absolute truth in all 3 of his phases: the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Soul, and the Supreme Impersonal Truth." So here Krishna says that the 3 letters represents the 3 aspects of God. In the Vedas, God is not only one, or has only one aspect. God has simultaneously 3 aspects. First is called Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the person, is the divine person, the divine body of God. Like Krishna, Rama, Narayana, they are called Bhagavan. Then God has also his localized aspect, that's called Paramatma, that is present in every atom of the universe, also within the heart of every living being, as the witness for what we are doing. And then the last one is called Brahman, or the light, the energy, the impersonal aspect of God. Okay? So there is no need for us to debate or agree or disagree if God has or not form, if God is or not light, if he is there or here. He is at the same time all the 3 aspects. So this is the most complex description about God that we find is only in the Vedas. So if you tell me that God is light, I will agree with you. If you tell me that God is in your heart, I also agree with you. And if you tell me that God is in his spiritual abode, I also must agree with you. Therefore, God is complete, because he must be everywhere in all the different aspects. Okay? So also in that first verse that we read, Krishna says that I am Om. I am the Om. So Krishna is also manifesting himself as the Om, because Krishna is Bhagavan, he is God. In this verse from Rig Veda, it is said, Sri Bhagavan is undivided and divided. The syllables found in the word Om are his manifestation, and he manifests himself in the 3 forms of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, as I just told you. And the 3 syllables in the Omkara represent the names of Hari, Krishna, and Rama. So now we come to a more personal understanding of Om. Before it was very conceptual about the aspects of God. Now those letters represent specific names of God. as Hari, Krishna, and Rama. Then now, the Omkara is the perfect and complete truth, the combination of potency and the possessor of potency, Gopal, from whom the whole universe sprang. Those who know the absolute truth consider Omkara as Radha Krishna Tattva. What is the meaning of Radha Krishna? Krishna is the male aspect of God, and Radha is the female aspect of God. In the Vedas, God is not only masculine. God is actually a couple, a hybrid between feminine and masculine. Okay? Just like we always have the yin-yang symbol there. That symbol shows exactly this interaction between masculine and feminine and the origin in God itself. So in this way, he's saying that Om also represents that. A means Krishna, U means Radha, and M means all the living souls like us, who are the eternal servants of the divine couple. Okay? In this another verse from Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas. So Krishna is the one who manifests all the Vedic knowledge. And he is also the manifestation of Om, as well as all the Vedas. They come from Krishna. And the Vedas talk about Krishna. So God is the creator, and God is also the object of knowledge in the book of knowledge. So if God does not reveal himself to us, we have no opportunity to know who he is, because our senses are very limited. How can we, with a very limited senses and intelligence, grasp something which is transcendental, beyond the perception of the material world? So unless and until God does not reveal himself to us by his own desire, we cannot guess who God is and how he is. So therefore, Krishna comes in this world, Krishna reveals the Vedas and makes everything available for us. Okay? All right. So Krishna said, all living entities, moving and non-moving, are my expansions and are separate from me at the same time. I am the super soul of all living beings who exist because I manifest them. I am the form of the transcendental vibrations like the Omkara and Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. And I am the supreme absolute truth. These two forms of mine, namely the transcendental sound and the eternally blissful spiritual form of the deity, are my eternal forms. They are not material. So Krishna says a very important thing. Krishna says, as a God, I have two bodies. The first body is the form of the deity that we worship in the altar. And the second form is the name of Krishna. So Krishna is living completely in his name. His name is absolutely no different from Krishna himself. Because Krishna is absolutely perfect and spiritual. So there is no difference between Krishna and Krishna's name or Krishna and Krishna's body. So it makes now very, very powerful the presence of the mantra. Why? Because mantra is actually speaking the name of God. The mantra only has power if God's name is present there. There is no mantra without God's name. You can make up something and just keep repeating in the sense that you are calling this a mantra, as people, speak in a metaphorical way. But actually, the mantras revealed in the Vedas, they all have God's name. Therefore, they are powerful. Therefore, you can sing and chant for hours and hours, for days, for lives, and never get bored or tired of them. Because they are not ordinary names. They are the names of God. Okay? Everything good till now? Is it easy? If you have any difficulty, please let me know. Okay? So here Krishna said, as the unlimited, unchanging, and omnipotent personality of Godhead, dwelling within all living beings, I personally establish the Vedic sound vibration in the form of Omkara within all living entities. It is thus perceived subtly, just like a single strand of a fiber on a lotus stalk. Okay, so what Krishna is saying here is very, very interesting. Krishna is saying that in every living entity, Krishna is like installing the device of the Om. So everyone, especially the human beings, they have the Om, the presence of that divine sound in their Muladhara chakra. I'm going to show you later on how that works. So now Krishna said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Uddhav, the Supreme Lord gives life to every living being and is situated within the heart along with the life air and primal sound vibration. The Lord can be perceived in his subtle form within the heart by one's mind, since the Lord controls the minds of everyone. Even great demigods like Lord Shiva, the Supreme Lord, also assumes a gross form as the various sounds of the Vedas, composed of short and long vowels and consonants of different intonations. These verses, so many important informations here, and very also good curiosities. So for instance, here Krishna is explaining that how the words come out of our mouth, how sound is being produced in our body, how that happens. And I'm going to show you. So in this chart, you can see the sequence of all chakras, okay? Beginning from Muladhara chakra on the base, then Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Ajna, and Sahasrara. So on the base, you can see here in the Muladhara chakra, this is written Para Prana. What prana means? Prana means life air. Prana is air. What is the function of air? To move things. To move things. Our body has 5 pranas. Prana, Apana, Udana, Samana, and Vyana. All these 5 airs, they are responsible for moving things in our body. Even when you go to the toilet in the morning, that is due to a push of air, of a prana. If your heart is beating, if your blood is flowing, it's also due to an effect of a prana in our body. So, but here it said para prana. Para means spiritual. Para means transcendental. So it means that in our Muladhara chakra, in the form of the sound vibration Om, it is the divine presence of para prana. Why is that? Because in this material world, things only move if another energy is put against that object. Otherwise, it always remains at rest, right? This is basic Newton's law, right? Those who are in school, they remember. Maybe the older ones will not. So, if one object is placed at rest, for example, on the table, it will remain at rest unless another object will push some force against it. It's okay, simple understanding. So, if the prana is making everything to move, what makes prana move? You place a rock on the ground. The rock will remain there at rest unless someone pushes it. But if you look inside of the rock, what do you see? You see many moving particles. All the electrons, protons, everything is moving. Although the rock is resting, inside of the rock there's a lot of movement. Do you see someone pushing these electrons, doing like this, them around? So who is moving these electrons? God. This is God's power. This is called the para prana. Because even the material 5 pranas, they need something to push it. And that is called para prana. So the para prana is the divine energy that moves and starts everything to move. And by like a domino effect, they will start moving other things. But the first move must be given by the non-material force, which is God, which is a self-moving entity, right? So in the form of sound, this paraprana is moving the Om upwards. So when the Om reaches the level of manas, means mind, and you want to speak something, that desire to speak will pull the power of Om up to the level of your mind. This is on the level of Manipura chakra. Okay? And then you begin to organize in your mind what you want to say. Right? Then again, it moves upward towards the Anahata chakra in the level of Buddhi. Buddhi means intelligence. Now you're going to put all the words properly organized one after the other, the intonation, the way you want to speak. When everything is ready, then it comes to the third level, which is on your Vishuddhi chakra, on your throat. That is the level of Indriya. Indriya means senses. Then it comes out of your mouth through your vocal cords as vowels and consonants and words and sentences like that. So this is how we speak. Okay? So, but when we are going to speak the mantra, you can bring that same very Om that is there in your own Muladhara chakra and make it come out. And then you can vibrate the pure Om. That is what the yogis, they do. I can just speak Om like this. It's just me producing Om. But that's not the goal of the practice. The goal of the practice is to bring the real Om, the original Om, out of my mouth. And by practicing that constantly, what the yogis, they do, the previous verse described that the soul resides on the heart, on the level of the heart. The soul is here, on the Anahata chakra. So as soon as the Om passes by the Anahata chakra, the yogi, he will like jump, with his soul. The soul will jump in the Om vibration and then comes out of the mouth, and then the yogi leaves his material body, and then he achieves perfection. This is how it happens, okay, in a very systematic and scientific way. But of course, it is very fast. When I'm speaking, I'm not thinking about all these processes. It comes automatically. But if you put in a slow motion, you understand how things work. And what is the role of meditation? What meditation does? Meditation allows the yogi to see things from distance and therefore slower. And then he can break down all the different processes, and he can control and master those processes, his senses, his mind, and everything. Like if a car passes in front of me just 2 meters, very fast, like 100 kilometers per hour, I hardly will be able to see about that car. But if the same car passes 100 kilometers per hour, 1 kilometer away from me, I will see it moving very slowly. This is what meditation means. Meditation means to come out of the process and to watch from outside as an observer. This is what the yogis, they do. And when the yogis, they are able to control all the different small processes, they can control also how they quit this body and how they enter in the spiritual world. Common people, they cannot do it. Why? Because it happens so fast. They are unable to control it. So that's the only difference between common people and yogis. They can control the whole process, but we cannot. Okay? So this is very interesting. How the mantra is being playing this very important role in our simple life. Because as I was explaining, in the same way that the material prana needs the spiritual prana to move it, also the material sound needs the spiritual sound to move it. Okay? All right. So in this verse, Krishna said, starting with the Muladhara chakra, one should move the sound Om, subtle like the fiber of a lotus stem, which has the sound of a continuous bell, to an upward position in the heart, through prana, and make it stable. That's what I just explained to you. That's how the yogis, they control everything, and they leave their bodies through their mouth. Okay? Especially the bhakti yogis, the yogis which are actually devoted to God. They leave the body through the mouth, not through the Sahasrara chakra, through the crown chakra, and also from the third eye, because the third eye and Sahasrara chakra, they are related to jnana and yoga, mystic powers, and also contemplation of God. But if you want to love God and serve God as a devotee, that is the Anahata chakra. And that will come through the mouth. There are different ways to leave your body. Like those who are very bad people, they leave their bodies through their anus. So if you go, then they go to the hellish planets. But if you leave your body through the upper parts, then you reach higher planets. Okay? Is it clear? Good. Now let us move to another aspect of the sound, which is the form and the shape of sound. Well, sound is invisible to us when we are speaking, right? You cannot see sound, but actually sound has shape. In the same way that you might not be able to see God right now, but God has shape. He has form. And the shape of sound is called yantra. So this is the Shri Yantra. This is the form of the Om. So if you want to have the benefit of the vibration of Om always with you, you can use like, a small necklace with the Shri Yantra always hanging, because you cannot chant 24 hours, right? You can chant maximum 30 minutes, like 1 hour at the best every day, because we are very busy. We have to do so many things. But the power of the yantra is there, always vibrating that same frequency of the Om. Or you can place it at your wall, on the wall, with a picture like that. Then you have always the powerful vibration of the Om present there. And has yantras for all mantras, all different mantras, okay? So the interesting thing is that the yogis who were able to meditate and see that form of the yantra, later on, Dr. Hans Jenny, he actually created one machine called tonoscope. The tonoscope, it is a very simple device. It has a cardboard, and below that you have like a speaker playing some frequencies, and then he puts on top a little bit of very thin sand or salt, and when he plays the frequency, that sand takes the shape of the sound which is being played, right? This is all over the internet. You can search by yourself. You become very amazed by that. So when he put the frequency of the Om to play, then he found the same shape as the Sri Yantra. And then he declared that science proves that the rishis were right. Rishis means the sages from ancient times, the yogis. So actually all the faculties, all the abilities that human beings had in the past that were lost, they now are manifested as the devices, as the computers, as those machines. Before they could talk to somebody else from far away by telepathy. Nowadays we cannot do it. Then we created the mobile phone. But before, all these things were actually very, very possible just by the power of the mind. Okay? So, having told that, we can come now more specific to the relation with the mantra. So the word mantra means a vehicle to the mind, or for the mind. Mantra is like a bridge that will connect your mind with God. The whole purpose of mantra is not to give you like a relaxation or give you any type of sensation or bliss. These are just side effects of the process, positive side effects. But the main purpose of the mantra, when you're chanting God's name, is to connect yourself to God. It is a calling to God. When I say Hare Krishna or I'm saying Om, I'm actually calling God. It is a call for the lost relationship that we don't have right now with God. And we want to reestablish that. And this is the meaning of yoga. Yoga means to unite, to connect, to link the soul and the Supreme Lord. And yoga means bhakti yoga, means devotion. Okay? Nowadays, yoga has been completely changed and distorted by saying that yoga means to unite mind, body, and spirit. No, it is not a selfish experience. It's not only about you. Yoga is about you and God. It's about the meaning of life, the goal, the supreme goal of life. And that link is always through love. We like to talk about love, right? Everyone likes to speak about love and feel love and live love. But actually, what love means? Love means to serve that object of love. So if you love God, you have to serve God, not to try to become God. Most of the yogis, most of the schools, everywhere in India, in the West, they are promoting the idea that we are gods, that our goal is just to become gods. No, because in the moment you become the object of your meditation, love is disappeared. Because love needs always two objects, the one to love and the one to be loved. And God, and love is an eternal reality. God is love, and love is God. This is a very famous saying, right? So for us, it is actually in the Vedas already, this message. So what we want with the mantra, when you're speaking someone's name, is because you're calling that person. So his name is Krishna Das. If I keep repeating Krishna Das, Krishna Das, Krishna Das, means he will come because I'm calling him. So if you are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, or if you are chanting Jai Sitaram, or Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, what are you doing? You're calling that divine personality. In another studio where I gave this lecture, somebody asked me, why you only chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? You cannot chant any other mantras. I said, because that's what I want to achieve. I want to serve Krishna. He is my worshipable Lord. So why should I chant any other names? But in the beginning, if you don't have yet that established connection with some particular aspect of God, you can chant all mantras, no problem. It will be very, very beneficial to you. Very beneficial. But at some point, you must realize that the mantra is not like a pastime. It's not something for your entertainment or just to feel good. We have to realize that this is the only bridge and tool to connect us with God. The first contact we have with God is through His name. Through His name. You can't see God at first. You cannot talk to Him at first. You cannot touch Him at first. The only thing He allows you to know first is His name. And then you can know about Him by understanding His name. And then you begin to call Him. And then you establish the relationship with Him. And then in the future, when your heart gets clean, then you can see Him in front of you. And that's the whole purpose of chanting the mantra repeatedly, constantly. And I'm going to explain to you this next part. So now, as I told you, every age has a specific dharma to follow, a specific spiritual practice. So this verse reveals that. Any result obtained in Satya Yuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing fire ceremonies, and in Dwapara Yuga by serving the Lord's deities, can be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So the first age we have is called Satya Yuga. Satya is a very pure, very, very fresh type of age. Humans live 100,000 of years. And what is the dharma of Satya Yuga? Meditation, dhyana, silent meditation. The next age is called Treta Yuga. In Treta Yuga, humans live maximum 10,000 years. And what is the practice recommended? This is the fire ceremony. Then you have Dwapara Yuga. Dwapara Yuga is the age in which humans live maximum 1,000 years. Then what is the practice recommended? To worship the deities in the altar. And then you have the fourth, that is the age we are living right now. Since the past 5,000 years we are in the Kali Yuga. And the dharma of Kali Yuga is chanting the names of God, chanting the mantra. Okay? So it's not without a reason that many religions that were not actually used to singing and chanting and dancing, they are doing it. Because even unconsciously they are realizing the power of chanting God's name. Like the Muslims, for instance, they're not allowed actually to chant and sing. They only can pray, but not with music and melody. But nowadays even they are doing a lot. The Christians, the Catholics, the other sects also, they do a lot of chanting. And congregational chanting. Why? Because there is power in coming together and chanting God's name. There's a lot of power. And that is exactly what the Vedas tell us that we should do. Okay? Then in this next verse, Lord Shiva, he's telling to us, in Kali Yuga, there is no easier way to eradicate sins than chanting Sri Harinam. Therefore, it is essential to spread Sri Harinam among the general population. People in Kali Yuga can easily free themselves from greatest hell by performing the congregational chanting of this Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Shiva is telling us not to chant his own name, but to chant Krishna's name. Because Shiva knows Krishna is God. Shiva is not God. Shiva is one aspect which is also devotee of God. Therefore, Lord Shiva is saying, if you want to clean the sins from all your past activities, if you want to focus your mind in God, there is nothing better than chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And he says even more, you must go and teach everyone about it. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm following Lord Shiva's order only. And all our spiritual masters also. Okay? In this verse in Padma Purana is said, no one can understand the transcendental nature of Shri Krishna's name, form, quality, and pastimes through his materially contaminated senses. But when we become spiritually purified by devotional service to the Lord, he will spontaneously reveal himself to us. Spontaneously, he reveals himself to us. Why? Because his name is no different from him. So why, when I speak Krishna, I don't see him in front of me? Because my heart is impure. I have committed so many sinful activities, not in this life only, but in many past lives. I have accumulated a lot of garbage in my life, in my heart. So my mind is impure, my heart is impure. So therefore I have to chant a lot to be able to clean. Only by the power of God's name you can clear that, by nothing else. No pranayama, no asanas, no meditation. The only way to clean everything is by chanting, by praying to God. And once you are pure, then once you say Krishna, he appears in front of you. So he is always pure, but we are not always pure. So we have to purify ourselves. God is not hiding from us. We are actually hiding from him. We have denied him from many, many lifetimes. We have thought that we are independent and we can become enlightened and perfect and superior without him, without praying, without mercy. And as a result, we're only suffering, only suffering. I remember that when I was around maybe 20 years old, I was coming out of a very materialistic conception because I was involved with Socialist Party, Communist Party, and they are all atheistic, as you well know. But previous to that, in my teenagehood, I was very, very spiritual. I was searching for everything, but there was a gap. There was a moment in between that I stopped. But when I was 20 again, that very strong desire to meet with God came and manifested. And then I remember coming on my knees and praying and crying to God and saying to him, I want to know who you are. I'm not satisfied by knowing that you exist, but I want to know who you are in person, because you are someone. You are not just an idea. Okay, God exists, but who is he? He must be someone, because I was made on his own image. If I am someone, he must be someone. If he listens to me, he must have intelligence, he must have a personality. He must be able to judge and discriminate what is right, what is wrong. Principles and ethics come from God, not from humans. God is the one who decides what is bad, what is good. So I prayed that time. I want to know you. Please reveal yourself to me. I know that you are not playing hide and seek with me. I know that I have been actually looking to an opposite direction, but now I want to know who you are. And just 3 years later, I understood that Krishna was God, and he appeared and he manifested as the real personality with his original name, form, pastimes. In the most ancient culture. Now comes the most important point. If we need a revelation of God, what was that revelation that was always in the beginning, till now, and till the end? That is only the Vedas. Any other religion and culture is very new. They have just a couple of thousands of years. And what is the age of the Vedas? Cannot calculate. Millions and millions of years. So this is the eternal culture. This is God's culture. This is where the knowledge was revealed at first. And that will continue to the end of this universe. That is how God must have his original name, his original form. Although other religions, they also talk about the same God, but they are seeing only part of it, not completely, as we understand in the Vedas, for the complete manifestation and revelation of Krishna. Okay? So here you can see the spiritual image. On top you see Krishna, followed by Radha, who is, as I told you, his feminine expansion, followed by many other expansions, which are his feminine aspects. And he's always playing his flute. So through the sound flute, actually he accomplishes everything he needs, the creations, maintenance, and so many other pastimes he performs. And below that, you have the incarnation of Krishna, which is the combination of Radha and Krishna in one body, like the hybrid manifestation of God, which becomes his own devotee. It is a very unique aspect of God. God playing the role of his own devotee to teach us how to have devotion for him. Afterwards, if he would not come, then who would teach us about devotion to him? He has to be the one who is to establish what to do and what not to do. So this particular incarnation is called Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He descended only 500 years ago in India, only 500 years, like yesterday. For millions and millions of years, this is only yesterday. And he inaugurated exactly the dharma of the age, which is the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So nowadays, we are following him in this movement. And he told, 500 years ago, he made a prophecy that was written in a book just prior to his disappearance. This book has approximately 400 years published. In that book he said, Prithiviti ache joto nagoradigram sarvatta prachar hoibe moranam. He said, in as many as towns and villages of this world, my name will be heard and propagated. And what is happening nowadays? Everywhere, all countries almost. We are about to, come to that point that everywhere, but we are coming. Now we are in more than 120 countries, widely spread, bringing joy, bringing happiness, bringing answers especially, bringing back your confidence, your self-esteem, your happiness, and your connection with God. And this is only by his desire. He wants that. And this is the time and this is the moment to pick up the practice of the age, the dharma of the age, and chant in the congregational way the names of God. Sorry. So the same avatar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he spoke this verse. He said, may there be all victory for the congregational chanting of the holy name of Lord Shri Krishna. He is able to clear the mirror of the heart, the chitta, extinguished the blazing fire of material existence. It is the crescent moon that reveals the white lotus of good fortune to all living entities. It is the life and soul of all knowledge. It expands the ocean of bliss within us, and it enables us to taste full nectar at every step. So these are all the benefits of chanting the Lord's name. But the process that I want to now describe is how the cleaning of the heart happens. So here heart means chitta, okay? This word, chitta, it refers to cheto here. Darpana means mirror. Marjana means to clean. So how to clean the chitta, and actually what chitta means? Because chitta is not actually heart. We use the word heart just for the sake of symbolizing. But here, you can understand that the soul is Satchitanand. This is the nature of the soul, the quality of the soul. Satchitanand. Sat means eternity. Chit means consciousness. Ananda means bliss. So God is Satchitanand. We are also Satchitanand. We have the same quality as God. But we don't have the same power of God. That's the only difference between us. He is almighty, omnipotent, and we are not. We are very limited in power, right? But the nature is same. Just like the spark of the fire. It has the same quality, but not the same power. So when the soul comes in this material world, the aspect of chit, consciousness, creates the chitta. And the chitta is like the mirror of the soul. Is the mirror in which the soul is going to watch itself when it becomes clean. And then you have the self-realization. And when you see yourself in that mirror, you see also the form of God that you worship. Okay? So then the chitta, then the soul comes in the material world and then receives the subtle body. Subtle body means ahankara, false ego, Buddha, intelligence, and manas, mind. Okay? So the chitta is that mirror in which you have to see yourself. Patanjali, when he explains about yoga, he is doing actually nothing different than what Krishna before told. Krishna is the one who presents Ashtanga Yoga, not Patanjali. Patanjali, he only summarizes everything and systematizes everything. And Patanjali, he says that once the chitta is completely what? Stabilized. Like he says, yoga's chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga means to stabilize the oscillations of the chitta. And what are these oscillations? Is the influence of the subtle and gross body. Mind, intelligence, and false ego. What is false ego? I am this body, I am Brazilian, I am Swami Mahavir. This is my false ego. I am not this. I am the soul. And what is that soul's personality? I have to discover that, right? What is my intelligence? Is what makes me survive in this world. And what is my mind? My mind is what drives my senses trying to enjoy. That is my mind. So the chitta is a place in which all my spiritual realization will take place. So whenever I chant the mantra, whenever I hear about God, whenever I pray, or I read something in the book, all this information is going to the chitta actually, not to the mind. Okay? Because the chitta is the mind of the soul. All right. So here again we come back to that very first verse in which Krishna said, I am the sound in ether. You remember? I am the sound in ether. So now let us understand what Krishna wants to say. What relation has? First of all, Krishna is saying, I am sound. Okay. He said, I am sound, I am Om. But what has to do ether with sound? And why Krishna is dwelling in the ether? We have to understand this. So first of all, the chitta, it dwells in the level of ether. Why? Because the chitta is very subtle, very fine type of reality, like Shuddha Sattva, pure existence. So it dwells in the level of ether only. So when you are chanting mantras, what happened? When you're chanting mantra, you are actually expanding your chitta, right? You're expanding your consciousness. And the more you expand your consciousness, the more your causal horizon also expands. What is the meaning of causal horizon? Is your horizon of understanding of the ultimate causes. So the more you understand the causes of something, the more you are able to expand your consciousness. And what is the ultimate cause of all causes? This is God. So the ultimate expansion of the chitta means samadhi, means in yoga with God, right? So in Sanskrit, what is the word for happiness? This is called sukha. Su means to expand. And ka means what? Ka means ether. Ka means akash. Krishna is saying, Shabda ke. Shabda means sound. Ke means in the ka. Is a locative case. In the ka means in the akash. But what happiness has to do with expanding in the akash, in the ether? Because the more you expand your consciousness, the more happy you are. Why? Because the more you know the cause of the causes. And the ultimate cause is God. So if you know God, you are completely happy. If you have realized God, you are completely happy. And what is the opposite? Unhappiness in Sanskrit is dukkha. Du means to contract, and ka means the same, the ether. So the more contracted is your consciousness, the less you understand about everything. Why you're suffering, why you are in this world, what is the meaning of life, what I'm doing here, who is God, I don't know anything. Then you suffer. When you go to the psychologist or psychiatrist, does he cure you from your disease? No. What he does, what is his main role? Helping you to understand why you are suffering. So what he does, he helps you to expand your horizon, your causal horizon, or your horizon of causality. And once you understand why you had that problem or that trauma, it is over. So in the same way, the more you chant the mantra, the more you expand your consciousness, your chitta, the more you come closer and closer to God. And when that comes to the final position, then there is the yoga, the union, the connection with God. And that connection is not just coming close and staying together. That connection means now I can serve God directly. I can be with Him, now I can serve Him. So this is why when we say chant and be happy, just chant the mantra and be happy, it's a very simple thing, but behind how much philosophy is there? How to be happy, what happiness means, all these things we have to understand. And the Vedas is so clear. Is it clear for you now? You have any doubts of what I just explained or not? No? Okay, good. Very good. You are all very good students. Then in this verse, one of our main masters, he says, I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krish and Na have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When that name enters the ears, we desire many millions of ears. When the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses become inert. So this is what you experience when you are chanting mantra. When your heart is pure, your consciousness is pure, the name will dance in your heart in a symbolic way, in the sense that you control your chitta, your mind, and all your senses, they will get inert, and then without the influence of all this barrier, you can have the divine experience of God. And when you have that divine experience, you taste the nectar, the sweetness of Krishna's name. Then you desire to have millions of mouths because you want to chant more and more. And as you chant, you are also hearing, then you also want to hear more and more. So this is the bliss of the process of chanting mantra. Now, just to conclude, how to chant the mantras. We have three ways of chanting: by mind, whispering, and loudly. Even if you chant by mind, actually you are producing sound in your mind, because you can speak in your mind, right? So there is an effect there. If you cultivate bad thoughts, you're always speaking bad things, that is vibrating, that is giving you reactions. And if you vibrate positive thoughts, especially the words of God, the sound of God, that is also going to give you results, good results. Then the whispering, when you're performing the japa mala. Okay, I have brought to you today some japa malas. If you want to start practicing and chanting, later I can explain to you. The japa is a very intimate process that you keep for yourself every day for some hours. You go to a very reserved place where you will keep that time only for Krishna, only for God. And then you chant, holding that japa mala, which will help you to meditate properly. And then you can whisper, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then if you are together with so many people, then you can chant loudly. And then you can even dance. Dancing and celebrating, feeling that bliss coming from the divine name. It is a very unique experience. He was with us in the previous place. In the Alchemy Studio, we had a very beautiful and amazing kirtan session. You can see on my Instagram there, we have the videos. Everyone dancing and singing so much. I got many messages afterwards, people saying, I have never experienced such a thing, this and that. So for the last 20 years, I'm living like this. Every day, I am chanting and dancing. I cannot stop. It's like addicting, Actually, I gave up everything that I had before just to be like this. But of course, you don't need to do like this. No need to shave your head, put on pink robes. No need. You can be where you are, but just put God in your life. Just make God the center of your life. You know, so many bogus philosophies are trying to put you in the center. You, your ego, you. No, forget about you. You're not the center. Your value is when you are serving the master. When you are connected to God, then you find your value. Not when you are floating in the sky alone in the existence, as if you are some independent thing. You have not even created your own self. You have not even chose how to be in this world. What to speak of being God? Unfortunately, this philosophy is very popular. When I was a teenage, I was also believing that. I also thought I was God for some time. Then I condemned myself badly because how much arrogant can I be to think I am God, I am the whole, I am the infinite, I am this, I am that. No, I am nothing. I'm very insignificant. I am suffering so much. I have reactions of my karmas. I have bad decisions. I have so many mistakes. How can I be God? Patanjali says something very interesting. Patanjali says that Ishwar, our God, is that divine person who was never affected by karma, by afflictions, by anxiety, by pain. And what we do when we want to search for yoga? Why we search for yoga? Because we are suffering, because we are under illusion, because we don't have answers for anything. Then how can you be God? I used to say that if God would like to become each one of us, especially myself, who is like, completely, a useless person, I would rather to become an atheistic, because I could never worship a God who needs to be miserable people like us, full of defects, full of problems. Every day we have to, do so many type of materialistic things, selfish things. How can we be God? If God needs this type of experiences, I'd rather to be an atheistic, because this is not my God. This is not my Almighty One and sweet one and perfect one. That is how Krishna is. So we first understand what is our position, what is my connection, what is my role in this existence. I am the servant and he is the master. He created me. I'm not self-created. I have not created even my own house. Nothing I have created. So this is the magic of mantra. Mantra can change and give you so much insight, so much realization, because you are vibrating directly the presence of God. Okay? This way, I invite you to learn about this mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And you can chant anytime you want. There is no any rules and regulations. You can be impure or pure, lying down, sitting, walking, day, night, inside, outside, anywhere. In the bathroom, in the altar, there is no limit for the mantra. You can always chant and be happy. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.